भारत पेट्रोलियम से मैं मिस्टर संजीव रायना सर हैं जो एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर HSSE भारत पेट्रोलियम है. सर से थोड़ा सा सुन लेते हैं.
So I'm indeed privileged and honored to be speaking to such an erudite leadership forum which is there. I'll just start with something which is called as an idea of circularity as far as BPCL is concerned. Great GDP, great control on the inflation. But the fact is, it reminds me of an old adage, jaan hai to jahan hai. But abhi duniya badal gayi hai, jahan hai to jaan hai. If the planet exists, you exist, otherwise you are finished. Then nothing is left. It's an existential crisis for all of us. So circularity becomes very important when sirs talked about our Vedas and all. It is written that one thing, we have finite resources available. So infinite use cannot be there. There has to be finite and mindful usage. This has been encrypted through Mission Life, which says that if 8 billion people are there in the world, 1 billion people agar apna acharan badalte hain, so 20% of emissions can be controlled. And that means directly, indirectly, we can save so much of money. As far as BPCL is concerned, when I talk about scope 1 and scope 2, I'll be to make it zero, net zero, I'll be spending not less than 100,000 crore. When I talk about oil industry, they'll be spending not less than 5.5 lakh crores on tackling scope 1 and scope 2 by 2040. Humongous amount of money. इसीलिए सर हमारे यहाँ जो इंडिक विजडम है, दे से दैट चेतना से ही चरित्र का निर्माण होता है. तो चरित्र बनाना है which is attuned to circularity. Why I talked about GDP and inflation? Because when we talk about circularity, some amount of financial prudence also comes into the play. Globally, we say that triple bottom line. People, planet, and profitability. We say profit not at the cost of exploiting people and planet. But one step ahead, as an Indian thought, as a BPCL thought, we say replace profit by prosperity. So it is prosperity not at the cost of exploiting people and planet. So important here, when we talk about BPCL's idea of circularity, we look at three major elements. One is air, water, and soil. Air, absolutely taken care by PCB. We have governed by that. Kahin na kahin hum pakad mein aa jate hain. Coming to water, it's also controlled by PCBs. Maybe the state or the central PCBs. But jo soil part hai, wo thoda sa us pe controls kam hota hai. It is not tackled in the way it should have been done. So BPCL has adopted a methodology which we called as self-regulation, which previous sir also talked about. You need to be self-regulated. So as BPCL, we did two things to protect soil from getting contaminated. We are the only company in India, maybe possibly in Southeast Asia, which is 100% ZW certified. Means zero waste to landfill certified organization. We are the only organization. And हम अपनी शिद्दत से ही लाइफ साइकिल असेसमेंट भी हमने कई प्रोडक्ट्स का करा है, राइट फ्रॉम इथेनॉल for each and every product. Now, what sir also talked about is actually the transformation at the ground level. That means till date we have been talking about the transactional circularity. It's on papers only. Is it actually happening? But we have to move one step ahead. That's called as transformational circularity. As BPCL, we are bound by EPR. Almost 5,000 metric tons of plastic is being tackled through EPR. But as BPCL, one more initiative what we have taken in future recently is plastic neutrality. We have started, we have so many summits happening around, something on strategy, something on marketing, something on lubricants. But recently we did one of our sustainability events. We did it as a plastic neutral event. That means we calculated the plastic footprints and traded it off. So there also we wanted to the circularity also to come into the picture. And they say that plastic neutrality, it's all about the microplastics. And if microplastics go into your body, weekly average, it's said that plastic equivalent to the quantity of a credit card goes into the body and creates the negative impact on the people. BPCL as company, our R&D center has developed a patented technology of making plastic tiles. Now, important here is this plastic is not segregated. It is whatever type of plastic is there, it is converted into the tiles. And this technology, sirs, have been used in 7 states across India. And last, we have tested and tried it in Arunachal Pradesh for the minus climate as well. And this patented technology, whatever we are having, right from, I think, 4 mm, 5 mm thick tiles to even 1 meter thick tiles can be made out of it. It's patented in the name of BPC. Then coming to, as I was saying, roads have been made, and last 5 years, 4 to 5 years, these roads have been tested hugely in 7 states, and the performance is brilliant. We're also planning to use this technology in our retail outlets as a sub-base for the entry and exit part of the roads what we construct. So in that case, what we're going to do is we are going to eliminate the use of the coarse aggregate, or the sub-base can be transferred into this plastic. So plastic will be consumed by BPCL itself. Important here, what I was looking at is, even in the case of, previously sir from Chandigarh, from Punjab talked about stubble. Yes, as BPCL as an organization, we have set up a refinery, biorefinery in Bargarh, Odisha. Now here we are using the stubble as a feedstock, and we are going to convert it into 2G ethanol. Sirs, believe me, we have done the assessment of the stubble across India. Even if we set up 12 refineries across the nation, the consumption of the stubble will be only to the tune of 10 to 15%. Still, we are left with 80% of the stubble. That means these refineries have to be ensured, they have to come in place. At least 20% of it can be eliminated. And you're also aware that we're also going for CBG plants across the nation. And what I was trying to say here is, as BPCL, we are also working on the mission life, that is talking about mission life, which is mindful usage of the resources rather than mindless usage of the resources, which our Honorable Prime Minister launched almost 2.5 years back. 3 phases are done. We are on the 4th phase. And we've also started creating retail outlets which are green retail outlets. One of the retail outlets in Haryana is totally operating on natural energy. It is solar, it is wind, it's hybrid. Each and every activity of that retail outlet has been greenized. It has been made green. It's being we're not purchasing any power from the state grid. And since the tea break is also going to be there, I didn't want to take much of the time. So I want to be quick. To end up, I would only want to say that we need to go back to the basics. As sir also talked about, and other sirs also talked about, it is, I'll say, we have to go back to ABCD. That means as leaders in circularity, we need to have an attitude which is attuned to circularity. We need to have a behavior which is attuned to circularity. We need to have a conviction about the circularity. The problem is conviction is missing. We need to have determination to achieve this circularity. We need to have expertise. That means we have to create expertise in this circularity mission. And lastly, as far as implementation is concerned, we need to be firm, but also we need to be flexible in implementation of the circularity. So it is all A, B, C, D, E, F, what we need to do. And thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, because